and welcome back to ESL Pro League. Start of another week here. I hope you guys had a great weekend because we here on the desk, we had some phenomenal weekends between the three of us. I'm going to be here with Sponge. I'm going to be here with Henry G. I know it was Sponge's first time in Amsterdam this weekend.
Well, not the first time.
Not the first time. So that blows the entire intro out of the water.
It's my first time in London, though.
I was going to say.
So it was good.
I was going to say, by the amount of singing I've heard today, it's the first time you've heard Nightman Cometh.
That's true. Yeah. That's a good moment.
Good shout.
Quite a niche reference there, but
yeah, a little bit.
It was quite good. I enjoyed that.
But it's been phenomenal listening to you sing that all day. You guys doing good? Excited for the matches today?
I'm bloody chipper, mate.
Yeah?
Started to watch some Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I've missed it. I missed Counter-Strike. When you spend 5 days away from it, coming back to it, I'm hyped again, ready to go.
Like refreshed.
Yeah.
And we have Fair Dinkum tomorrow as well, the second episode of Fair Dinkum. Introduce you to Australia.
There's going to be some fun bits, Jason. You're going to have a great time.
I cannot wait for that. But what we cannot wait for any longer today is the league standings. So let's check that out. North America is going to come first. But keeping our eye on these across the pond, SK is now settled into a pretty comfortable lead. 3 wins over Cloud9, and NRG is probably a little bit surprising. Have them be up there in this third spot. Liquid slipped a little bit, but I mean, Luminosity, the third Brazilian team to come in and tear apart NA. It's just
imagine if all 3 Brazilian teams come in the top 3 of the.
That sounds very likely at this point.
That'd be very depressing, wouldn't it? These are the standings over in Europe. North has made their way to the top seed. Mousesports had that, but they slipped a little bit last week. They've been slipping all over the place. We'll hear from Mitch about that later. Navi in third, Astralis in fourth. VP and HellRaisers are going to round out the playoff picture, but still a lot of names, as we've known. NIP very much back in the playoff race. G2 can do the same thing. They're very few wins behind, so I mean, nothing settled over here in Europe.
The French are on the way up. They got 2 victories back-to-back. That was good to see. Yeah. I think the improvements out of them are going to come in leaps and bounds. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll probably see them a little bit later on. You can see this is the full week schedule. We've got NIP versus Navi tomorrow. To start things out today, it's Navi HellRaisers. Then we have Mousesports Heroic. Also Astralis Kingwood, if you're interested in that one. But the big one, obviously, Virtus Pro and Envy. VP being announced as a team that's coming to ESL 1 Cologne, which is pretty cool. Yes. And then G2, we'll see if they can get themselves back into the picture because they are that last place team trying to avoid relegation. So far, a little dicey in that area. Yeah, it's not looking too good. It hasn't really lived up to expectations yet, but still early days, I would say, and they are going to be good ones. You need to get into a LAN first before we make our judgment, Jason. I know you have to get ahead of yourself. So. Well, the nice thing is NIP just won 2 matches last week and jumped 7 spots, so G2 can do the same thing. But speaking of jumping 7 spots, fantasy standings have shuffled around a little bit. I know I jumped up a couple. Henry's still I'm doing all right as well. Yeah, Henry's down there. I think they call me the sleeper team. I'm going to surprise the last one, you know? No? You're done. Your fantasy season is over. As soon as you put the entire Liquid roster in, you were done. It was a bit of a gamble, not going to lie. That didn't pay off. You got the wooden spoon. Yeah. Yeah, well,
Do we have to focus on me every week?
What's that?
Do we have to focus on me every week?
I mean, you are last place, so I thought it would be appropriate. You are the G2 of the fantasy league. It's true. We've got, you know, Chad, I think Lauren and I are all rounding out that top 3. We'll see if we can bring them up. But yeah, this has been fun. If you guys want to join in on us, because for some reason we actually have had an insanely fun time talking smack to each other and doing it, or at least I have.
Yeah, it's been really fun.
We should have put a prize on the line.
Fantasy.eslgaming.com if you guys want to get involved. Yeah, Henry, there's always one friend that just doesn't have any fun with the things you do. So.
Henry specifically, or just a group of friends?
Every group has that one guy. We have Henry. Okay. Hank, as he's known.
Hank, yeah, I prefer that.
His alter ego.
The alter ego. It seems to be out. It seems like the alter ego has taken over.
Yeah, the evil guy's more out than the good guy, it seems, and I prefer him in a way. It's more interesting, isn't it?
I guess so. I guess it would be a little bit more interesting, but I think I'm waiting to hear if Mitch is going to be ready.
I can see him setting up.
He's doing something. Setting up? Yeah. Well, give
He's
him
not in the bathroom today. He's in the bathroom the other day.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Jeez. The comedy that ensued from that one.
Yeah, that was unreal. No. He's ready.
Oh, he's ready now.
Yeah, he's ready. So we will send it over to Mitch. We'll hear from him.
Thank you very much, Moses. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here just to point you towards our social media channels at facebook.com/ESLCS and at Twitter @ESLCS. Now, with DreamHack just on the horizon, it seems that the Mousesports boys have got themselves into a little bit of a pickle. They lost out versus HellRaisers over on Sunday due to Dennis being down with a stomach flu. They were forced to play with their coach Lambert, and this in combination with their star ladder performances earlier on might dampen the spirits of the team going forward. But before we get into that and into the games for today, let's go and check out our Pay Safecard top plays for this week.
It becomes very easy to hold that A site if you use your utility properly.
And JDM gets a double and then follows it up with a third as well.
Just waits.
Gifty takes down 2 as he swings out. Well played. Olaf goes back in through checkers to try and find the rest of him. He's not got the confirmation as to the fact that they've gone inside of the site, but he will find RPK and leave it to Sixer.
It is Dennis. He has a pistol and they are low. I've seen stranger things happen, and that's a big first step. One shot will kill, get right. He's gonna get it. It's a 1v1. Forrest is on 15 HP, and Dennis delivers again.
Nico, smoked off, looks for an answer. Knows the bomb is being planted, denied. Finally, FaZe Clan a little bit to work with. Above, Nico nails that as well, and the no-scope onto Edward as he hits the ramp. Nico gonna finally bail them out of a round, and he hits the headshot.
It's still probably a safe bet here that Cloud9's gonna win the round, and certainly the case now. Jason R, nice tap though. Chooses the Ivy path here. So first battle, unless he goes far right, is gonna be automatic. Not sure Skadoodle just saw him there on that peak. They're looking towards him, and now only one more to go, and he gets it! Jason R, what was that? Just destroys him in the 1v3 with 3 HP.
Not bad from Jason R, and I believe I did see today that he is now going to be standing in for Optic, I believe it was. So he's going to...
He's all over the place.
Yeah, they're going everywhere. He was just on Complexity, now he's on Optic.
I'm just disappointed we didn't get to see Blue count to 4 again today.
Yeah, that would have been nice. A little bit of counting always helps.
The highest I've ever seen him go is 5. You ever seen him go higher than 5?
Well, technically you can't unless he kills his own teammate.
I just meant in his general counting abilities.
Well, speaking of counting, we've never seen him go to 8, and we can talk about the R8, and Henry seemed excited about some input that he had on this weapon. Because there were some weapon changes. Let me preface that. There were some weapon changes in the most recent update.
Oh, it's actually changed. I didn't even know this.
Look at that rate of fire.
What's the difference, Jason?
Fire rate, mates.
Yeah, I think it's
so I think
not as fast.
It's been removed from competitive play, though, am I right?
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one could say it never really showed up.
And what's the difference here?
This is the Para after like the first 20 bullets. Look how precision that is. That's for some covering fire.
Let me
Chat has this
in
one.
the actual notes, it was to do with suppressing fire, right? So once you start shooting, it's very inaccurate, but then it levels out and it's super accurate. That's the point
it's like
of
a turret now.
Yeah, but okay, so maybe in 1.6 that made sense because you could spam through walls and then your teammates could push out while they weren't expecting. That was suppressive fire, but you can't do that in this game. You don't have the same wallbang ability. No one is buying that in competitive play and suppressing someone behind a box.
Well, I think buying it. I think you just touched on the real issue with that weapon is no matter how you change its firing, no one's going to be buying what is it, 5,700 or something.
You can't justify with that price tag.
Yeah,
it's not even better than the M4. If it was substantially better, you might think it's viable in some sort of situations, but it's still definitely not. Same for the R8. I'm disappointed it wasn't a complete rework. I think it was such a mess when it first came out. Tried to balance it, then it just was made completely dead. There was nothing left of it. So
you were pretty good with that R8.
Yeah, there was one round in London.
There was a couple. That was like a double overtime show match of the R8s only.
Look it up, Henry G R8 on YouTube. It's not bad.
Look, I can't believe they actually introduced that pistol because when we were at the majors and I was talking to the guys from Valve and they suggested it and they said, oh, we had this idea, but we scrapped it because it just didn't work. I was like, thank God they scrapped it. And then to see it come out, like, you guys just have no idea what you're doing.
Well, I know you tell a fantastic story about a time that they also suggested a stun gun. So we'll hope that one doesn't. Yeah, like
it was
shooting
a tether
net
gun, right? So
gun.
you run in and you tether the opponent somehow, and then your teammate has to come and kill him.
They bring the banana bomb one day.
Yeah, that could be good. Super sheep.
Yeah.
Super sheep in Counter-Strike. Okay. We do now have the fantasy rosters. I've been informed. We can bring them back. We can go back to fantasy. Henry's going to love that. Because here are the standings. You can see up top, it is still Lawrence
Alex
Scott.
higher than me? That's the worst thing.
That is the most. He
his
hasn't touched his roster. Second place is Sponge, and in a pretty nice third place, 1.5 points behind you, Chad.
Yeah, look at the points separating the top 3 right now. It's bloody tight, Jason.
Yeah, fear the bush.
We're gonna run down Lauren here. I think she thought she was ahead of the pack for a while, but we're gonna catch up.
She's like the limping gazelle at the moment. We're about to just come in there. Yeah, Cold Zera automatic. Look at this team. NA base. She's gone for a bit of a risk. Even Fur. So trying to capitalize on the 2 SK games we have going on. But and then Dupree just to round things out for some reason. This is going to be Chad, the Sydney Underground. God bless CGS. You are still continuing with your 4-man roster.
Look, let's be honest. I only have, I think it's like $815 in the bank. I can't afford anyone worthwhile.
I'm going to tell you right now, though, I have like the 2 most expensive players on my team in the league, and I was able to put a full 5 together, full 5-man roster.
Your team isn't as good as mine, so...
Well,
that's pretty good.
That's not bad over there. That's
Cold
not a bad
Zera,
lineup.
Simple, and Flamey. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and Navi and SK both play 2 sets of games this week.
Yeah, fantastic. So they have two times the amount of chance to go negative.
We'll come back to this. We'll read this in about 7 days.
Yep.
No, in about 14, because I think we're taking next week off for Starlighter. So 14 days. You remember it. Start the countdown. We'll move on to the matchup, though. The real excitement, kind of. It is going to be HellRaisers taking on Navi.
HellRaisers has been the surprise package in CS:GO recently. The last what, 7 games, only lost 1. They've been being some big names as well. Envious, Fnatic, G2, Penta, Mouse Sports. They were, like, once the addition of Dead Fox as well, I thought they'd be decent after they lost Oscar. I thought, okay, he's a decent replacement. We saw him at the minor having a very good performance. And he comes in, he's actually revitalized his team. They're actually looking very good. They've just qualified for Star Ladder as well, I think it is. So they're actually going to be at the event.
And DreamHack Austin.
And DreamHack Austin. So it's going very well for them, considering like they're, I would say, technically a tier 2 team. They're actually taking down some big names at the moment.
It's actually kind of funny because I know, like, you know, there's just rumblings always about roster changes in the scene. HellRaisers is one of those teams that I know has been pretty publicized.
Do you want to spill the beans, Jason?
No. I don't know any of the beans. I've just heard the rumblings.
You leave the beans to the others.
Yeah, the can of beans is not open. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for leading us into bean territory. Yeah, let's talk about Na'Vi though now, Chad.
Does that have any relation to beans?
No.
Just the opposing team.
Forget the beans.
Just the second team of the matchup.
They're looking good. I like how Na'Vi are looking. You know, there's so much doubt about this team, and personally for me, I think they've got all the bits and pieces that they need to make this a successful roster. They just haven't had that click. This change with removing Starix from the coach role, or him stepping down, whichever one it is, I think it's going to be a positive one because it's kind of like replacing a player, but without having to remove an integral part. And I think there's a lot of skill in this roster, and we're going to see it flourish a bit more under the leadership of Andy, or at least the coaching ability of him. And I think we've already started to see that in last week in Pro League.
Yeah, they looked very good last week, taking down some big games as well. I think Simple looked fantastic last week, and Flamey seemed to have very good games as well. The resurgence of Guardian as well. It seems like he's not back to God tier right now, but at least he's getting back to a superstar sort of level. And that's what's good to see. He's actually challenging top AWPers and actually looking like it's going to be an interesting 2017 for him overall. We do play Inferno though, which is an interesting prospect. I think Na'Vi have only played that map once, and that was last week, I believe, against Envious, where they actually won the game.
16-6.
And HellRaisers, to be fair, played it 4 times, only lost it once. So it's going to be a very good game, I think, overall. And I think HellRaisers give them a run for their money. I've
got a question pertaining to Na'Vi. I know we're not going to take too much away from their online play in EPL or anything like that. It's just kind of going to be cool to see. But with this roster, ever since it's come in, you know, they win New York. They don't look very good after that. They don't look that strong, you know, at the major outside of the BO1s. They've had their struggles, their ups and downs. What will it take to feel like they're consistently going to be a competitive team moving forward?
Just to get out in front of this, because this question comes up about a lot of teams, and it's not that I don't like the question, it's that I don't know what people expect, because you can't have, not every team can be in the top 3 teams in the world. Na'Vi, for me, would be considered in the top 5 or 6 teams in the world, you know, pretty comfortably, and that's how I consider them a competitive team based on that, right? I'm not going to expect every team to be vying for that number 1, 2, 3 spot.
Okay, with that being said, let me change it then. When do we think, because I think at the moment when we see them play, we don't really expect them to be able to hit that peak where they're going to win an entire event. When do we expect them to be able to get back to that? Yeah. When could we start saying Na'Vi could win this event?
Obviously, Starix leaving, he felt like he couldn't do anything more for the team, right? His kind of methodology wasn't working out for them. They were kind of plateaued. It felt after New York, nothing kind of got them back to that level. I like the idea that Andy, like, kind of, he was working with the team before, but now we're going to be under his sort of philosophy of how CS should be played. I think it's going to be a lot looser, a lot faster, and I think that's what's going to let them to get back to that sort of form and have confidence in themselves, not relying so much on strategies. And hopefully, we'll see them in the next couple of events turn up and do big things. I'm not sure what the time scale is going to be on that, Jason, to go back to your question, but hopefully now Starix has dropped off. Maybe they'll kind of revitalize them and have maybe a honeymoon period thinking, okay, we're not playing the same sort of CS anymore. We'll try something else.
I've made it's a day of baseless claims for me, so I'll just go with another one.
I like it.
Na'Vi top 3 at Star Ladder.
Top 3, that's what you want?
Ooh, that's aggressive.
Don't want the grand final?
No, let's give him top 3.
That's aggressive, but he did also say that Space Soldiers was going to have a good year, and I know they looked good against VP just the other day in a BO5. But before we dive into that, I know HellRaisers, one of you mentioned they played Inferno 4 times. I know, Chad, you've picked something out from one of those matches.
There was when I was doing my prep for this match, I noticed that they really love this B hit, or at least B hits, and this was very late round. You can see there's 36 seconds on the clock right now. They have all of their utility left, and that frag that was just made in mid makes this possible. There's some lovely Molotovs that come in here.
Lovely.
They completely firebomb the whole map.
Beautiful.
I think this smoke right here pops quicker, and they don't actually see it coming as much, so that, you know, delays the execute. But these 3 Molotovs, there's one on the new box, one on the second oranges, and one on the back right, and they basically just completely Molotov that whole side and push in. So if Na'Vi can't pick them off and allow them to execute like this, it's going to be very difficult to be anywhere in that B side. A couple of well-placed flashes and away they go.
Wow, that's actually pretty beautiful, isn't it?
We should do that one.
Do you need a lot of utility to pull that strat off? How many times are you going to get to that late in the round and have that much utility?
Well, that's the thing. You shouldn't be allowing teams to get to that position where they can have all their nades, banana control, and allow a full execution coming in. If you can feel that coming, you have no map control, you should at least be flashing over, trying to take a frag down to these disco bobbling them slightly. That shouldn't really be allowed to happen. But still, the fact they managed to get that position looked really cool. So
that's the thing. Like, putting it in perspective, you know, the way we see Virtus Pro play banana, that kind of a tactic will never be allowed because of how much force they put towards that.
And I know Na'Vi like to sometimes cheat that third man over towards B at the start, which means they're not going to be able to get that banana control, you know, probably as easily without taking much more damage or having to push them away with utility. I think the team they were playing there was Vega Squadron. So like once Vega Squadron had no utility left, they just turtled in the sights, which was perfect for HellRaisers to pull off an execute like that.
Yeah, and that pick, obviously, so that played a big role. Yeah, so I mean, this is a map. Na'Vi used to be very good on this map. Now, we've only seen them on it once since it's come back into the pool.
Yeah, so just to touch on why they were very good at it before, they had Guardian, as I referenced earlier, in his God mode, right? So they based the whole plan around him on the T side. It was about slowing it right down, allowing Guardian to go pick towards banana, edge up towards top middle apartments. They'd wait till like the 30-second mark before they actually went for any sort of map control. Very slow, lots of execution-based stuff. They normally had the early advantage because Guardian was so good back then. But then we've moved on to new Inferno. We've only seen him play once, much faster gameplay. That's kind of the philosophy for this team right now, as in they're like allowing players like Simple and Flamey to go in a lot looser and it's going to work as a unit, try and get the fast frags going in. It's not so much raced around set executions. So Inferno definitely lends itself to both kind of ideas behind that. So right now you saw Astralis last week playing on the T side with 4 players is rushing one part of the map. They was choosing middle, banana, apartment, sticking together, refragging. And as we saw HellRaisers just then, you can still do the executions as well. So I think overall this will be a very good map for Na'Vi. I think they can kind of lend themselves to both ideas of the ways it should be played. But like we said, only seen them play it once. It was a good result against Envious, but Envious still a new team. I think it was the first time we've seen them play it as well. So it was difficult to really gauge too much from it.
This Na'Vi team, are we going to see them double opping on this with Simple?
I don't think Inferno really lends itself to that right now.
We say that a lot of times.
Yeah.
We say that about Cobble. We still see a pretty decent amount of double ops on Cobble.
I think, you know, if the thing that I like when these guys play like Mirage and then they run one AWP is how much they move Guardian around on that CT side, because like he's here, there, and everywhere. I think that's a really good asset to have. So hopefully they can do a similar thing on Inferno, because you can have him in banana, you can have him jungle or wrap side of mid, you can have him pushing holes JW style. You can do all these things with him. I think if you have 2 AWPs, it overcrowds the situation and the AWPer can't rotate to another position because it's already being occupied by an AWPer, and unless you're super talented or you're one of those combat AWPers, like Simple can be, then it's much harder. So as a general philosophy for most teams, I'd say no, but Na'Vi could pull it off with the talent they do.
I think it's one of those things, if they find a secondary AWP, they'll always pick it up, but they're not going to base their whole half around. They're not going to have the idea going forward of saying, we're going for double AWPs. They're like, if it happens, they can probably make it work. But for me, Inferno is too segregated, like the A and the B bomb site. Like when a team like a terrorist do what HellRaisers just did, they take over the B site, everything's smoked off, the AWP rotates again, he's having a nightmare, right? So it's not a great idea, in my opinion, to have on the CT side of Inferno, but who knows, they probably could pull it off.
So we're waiting on 1 or 2 players, and I want to try something fun. I want to have some fun, boys. You guys ready?
Oh, God.
All right, if you had to pick one spot on this map to use the new Negev covering fire,
all right,
where's it going to be?
What's back right banana. I'm just like crouching, not moving. Got 100 bullets.
Pinning that guy in the corner?
Yeah, I'm just.
So you have to keep shooting.
Yeah, I'm CT, so I'm
okay.
I've got smokes in front of me.
He's not using the covering fire aspect of it. He's just saying walk into that laser
and
beam.
mow them down.
I'll go.
Okay.
Covering fire. I can't really think anywhere on this map where it would be effective. On the T side.
Either one. I mean, he did CT, so I mean.
I guess you could use it like down banana because it'd be like laser accurate, and your teammates could maybe push us. I don't know.
This wasn't as fun as you thought it would be, was it? It wasn't that fun.
They don't all land, Henry. Not all ideas land.
We could talk more about what HellRaisers might be bringing to the table.
Okay.
I know they like to do the 3B setup, and it's really interesting the way that they approach their 2 players at A. They like to play very close on the quad/diggity side of mid, like in the boiler and ready to take fights, whereas most teams will sit one either side of mid or maybe both on that diggity side, and they're more like caretakers. They're just delaying if it is an A hit. So, and also, if Na'Vi were watching the way HellRaisers play and they do that setup a lot, you can just walk straight up the guts. You can go straight up mid and contact, and you're going to win that fight because they're usually caught with their pants down. They're not actually ready for a duel that early in the round. So that's something that maybe Na'Vi will employ.
Well, my idea fell flat, but Chad, that certainly was fun.
Thank you.
To go through all that.
Well, Henry, do you have anything fun?
I've got some fun ideas for Inferno. How much time we got, Jason? I don't want to start rambling on.
You've got about 10 seconds.
Okay, I'm not going to go into that.
You don't.
I just want to have a nice, clean game. I think Na'Vi are going to take it. I'll be interested to see whether they go passive on the A side, like a lot of teams are doing these days, on the CT side. That's quite a cool idea, I think. But Jason, why don't you introduce this for us?
Yeah, we are going to get into that first map, Inferno, as we said, between Na'Vi and HellRaisers. Your casters are going to be Pansy and Uber. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much, Moses. You know what, Lauren, I find it very interesting. We kind of talked about what the boys did on the weekend. Nothing was said about what Moses got up to on the weekend. So
that's true. There's some evidence, I think,
hopefully we can tease something out of that and sort of... Because I think he had the most interesting weekend of us all.
I agree. If production could maybe look at his Twitter or Yanko's, you could probably get some nice pictures to maybe provide a bit of a story as to what went down, and maybe some fun times could be had on the desk with that. But going back into the matchup, these 2 teams on this map is going to be fun for me. Actually, this whole series, even looking at Mirage, it's been a very very regularly played map for HellRaisers recently with their good results to boot. You take into account who they're playing though, it's been that French shuffle. Both teams they played against them, they played against VP Online. Pinches of salt here and there, but overall, HellRaisers' results have been good. Na'Vi, there's been a couple of hiccups here and there, but this still should be their game to win. So again, interesting one to watch.
And the rumour mill's been churning out a couple things about HellRaisers in particular, Lauren. It was actually, Sticko was linked with a potential transfer to Mouse Sports recently. Now, I believe that fell through, or at least he chose not to go that way. But this is a team that's looking pretty good. Sticko especially, Zero's always wonderful to play as well.
Yeah, Sticko,
watch, should I say.
His performance has been the outstanding factor. Keep eyes on him, but Edward's seen a lot of information here. But this is all a bit of a ruse. The bomb's still down at the bottom of T-steps, so they might actually not make a play off the back. So they can still back down mid, try and pinch the 2 players who are going to push down Banana to try and go on the flank. And yeah, this is what's going on. I'm pretty sure if they can get the bomb across, they might try and use it. But Guardian's connected the shot, and that's kind of thrown things out of kilter. Sticko stayed alive, but now the plan's kind of been halted for a sec. Sticko's got a flash and 2 smokes. Not seen that put into play. The 3 kind of hit squad, I guess, from HellRaisers is going towards CT Arch. This seems a little messy here, but it's kind of working.
If we've seen that Arch player often get mowed down pretty quickly, but this time it goes a little bit better now for the CTs. It's a 3v2. The bomb, however, that's the issue. Flamey's been sat on that one, hoping to hatch a bit of an egg from it. He's going to have to back away from these 2 HellRaisers players trying to pressure him, and it is Zero, the last man standing. Will it be luck of the Irish for Patrick? He's got a 1v2 up his sleeve here. Grenade to come out. Edward, not fussed.
Pretty tough. And there it is. Simple to land the shot and keep this one in check. That kind of looked like it was maybe meant to be a B hit or something else, but it just got completely thrown out. There was the smoke of the 2 flashes that were on a player that didn't utilize them. That's all that I'm looking at there. And it may have been the play where you kind of hope that players push down B, down Banana as you've shown presence towards second mid. They're trying to go on the flank. You kind of wait for it. You kind of pinch back. You get the kills. Didn't work out for them. Then they kind of, I think, fell back to maybe an arch wrap.
Yeah.
It seemed a little bit here, there, and everywhere. But what's happened, though, off the back of it, look at the UMPs for Na'Vi. 4 on the board.
Hard to miss them.
Yeah, and the Famous for Simple, something you don't often see either. So a bit of a rarity, but at the moment, HellRaisers going for apps control. Decent plan with the Tech 9s. They can definitely operate at that sort of range. 2 smokes, I'm wondering where they go. Angel's just put his down. HellRaisers have clearly put a lot of time into this map, so I want to see what they bring to this.
Yeah, it's going to have to be Na'Vi backing away and turtling up a little bit more on towards his side. The Molotov has helped out a lot, though, and Edwards found himself a brace of easy kills. Angel's managed to get himself onto the side and force Simple at close quarters combat, and the USP is not going to be enough to get the job done. Guardian is low. Angel also is very low on health, and he's ultimately going to win that battle out. It's the Desert Eagle that comes to the fore. Now the 2v2, but HellRaisers are looking worse for wear, and Sticko embodying that principle quite clearly, as there's just not enough health on HellRaisers to keep them alive.
Yeah, that molly basically kept Edward in that game, or in that round, and then the entirety of the round was kind of kept together by him being able to focus towards that short push-up rather than worrying about apps, because that molly was able to cut off that one player who was meant to burst out to at least pressure him. So that worked out really well for Na'Vi in the end. It was still a pretty close round, though, overall. They are going to go on a bit of investment. This time, Guardian only on that P250. No, it's not even a P250. He's just on the pistol with armor. So he's just saving up for the money to get towards the AWP. On the other side, 1 Deagle, and that's all you need, apparently. Edward's head will roll. And at least HellRaisers get a kill. This shouldn't equate to too much. Why are you peeking back into the Simple?
It's Angel and Simple. 2 incredibly aggressive players. 2 players that really don't mess around, Lauren. I'm somehow not really that surprised to see it. However, no guns lost on the side of Na'Vi. I need to point that out. Guardian is actually able to upgrade from his P2K to the Famous. C's being forced back away over in towards that B site now. This is Na'Vi just going to try and ease into this round. It's a pick for 2 in mid. Simple gets the double. And Zero wants to try and challenge, but again, 3 for this man.
Yeah, and this is all very good for Moses' fantasy team. The more kills Simple gets, the better it goes. Seized, just missing as they go towards short, but Simple's in a nice spot here. Don't know if they're going to check on it. They do in the end, but a great round from Simple. 5 kills from him. A great deal of points for Moses too, but more importantly, Na'Vi get another on the board. 3 rounds now back-to-back. Not the cleanest in the world, but enough to get them there. They didn't get turned over. They didn't get, reset at any point. They're still fine. They've still got a nice bit of money. Guardian's able now to get onto the AWP. You look at HellRaisers. They've got a decent buy, though. We've got a lot of mollies as well coming out. 3. So maybe we'll get to see a bit of that B play. Unlikely they'll get away with it for that long.
Here's that early 3 to B play that we actually see from Na'Vi. Something HellRaisers do themselves. It was talked about in the desk. These 2 teams have a similarity. They overlap a little bit in the CT side when it comes to this particular play. So getting Banana Troll can become that much harder, but all C's really did was hang around and throw an incendiary.
But if anything, it's more just so he can put all his utility down, he can back away from it, and if they did go for an early bit of presence, he's there. He can easily play back around to where he is now towards CTR, which is such a long rotate for the others, of course, so it makes sense to do it. At the moment, though, Na'Vi not relenting on the banana control. They're actually sticking around for this. You've still got the AWP there. Flamey's going to probably boost Guardian up and over. Sit towards the ledge. A little bit dangerous, but he's got a nice little angle now. You're just maybe making an assumption they're not in that little alcove a little closer. Spots the leg. Goes for the shot. Angel's waiting. Both players looking for this now, and I'm pretty sure Guardian would have spotted that too, but HellRaisers fighting back in for this nice deep flash there. Going to catch Guardian and force him to back away. Flamey wasn't ready for that. Guardian stayed around a second too long, but Flamey will make up for it and trade out 1-for-1. But the rotates come in, but HellRaisers don't have the bomb with them.
Flamey can't get out right now, and he needs to just to win the battle, and he doesn't. Sticko knew he'd be stuck in Emo corner. And now here comes the smoke for HellRaisers. We've seen elaborate executes from this team on this site. They might not exactly have what they need for it this time, but they're going to go anyway.
They don't need to. If Sticko's somehow still cracking into this site, but look at Edward. He's still alive. He sat in pit. And HellRaisers always had apps control. They've been playing through it the entire time. Seized is just going to have to risk it and sit on B. Edward has one flash. He's got 3 players at the moment to try and locate. They're slowly working up. Molly goes in. He takes the fight. Can't get away cleanly. 21 HP now. And there is the final big blow. Zero finding him. I mean, the A side's open. Bomb goes down. And Seized got an AWP. Probably going to save this.
Yeah. Quick peek towards mid, then a back away. Lauren, that bicycle spot, does that get Molotov'd out by that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's not that OP, sadly.
It's not that OP. We've
Alas.
New information has become available, Lauren. And unfortunately, G2 won't be buying your strats, even though they use Henry's. Just one, Seized. And he's not going to be going for this round. A great round from Sticko there as well. He probably knew that Flamey wouldn't dare to try and back away from the sandbags. He didn't know who was watching the cross. So you're in an interesting position of power as a T-sided banana when you've sort of got that one player on the CT's pinned down. He's forced to take the battle.
And for me, it was more the fact that Sticko was still finding work towards B. He left Seized over there very much alone, but he found Simple, which was the more impressive part. And they've won the big round here. Okay, the first 3 are great, but the gun rounds are where you want to be buying it and really getting into it. So for them, this is fantastic. This is the highlight of Simple, just kind of going that eco bash. We saw the danger with the Deagle earlier. There's no disputing that, but at the end of the day, it's still 3-1 at this point. Now, the buys come back in for Na'Vi. It's still pretty okay. It's not perfect. There's no mollies. Well, there's one on Seized. He was the player who stayed alive, so he's the only one to do that. Now, HellRaisers could try and exploit maybe Banana more now. They know maybe their money's not as robust. And Guardian's looking to try and even the odds. Instantly going for quite an aggressive angle down towards mid. Peeks it out. The smokes come in. Not able to get any play done.
Guardian apparently more than happy just to pick the AWP up early rounds. A lot of teams, even on the CT side, are actually going away.
They're going fast. I really like this play. Guardian somehow being able to land a shot through it. But HellRaisers quickening the pace, but right into the eyes of Guardian. It was a bit of a win condition we discussed that made Na'Vi so good before. The fact that Guardian used to be such an animal on this map, but right now it's Edward keeping control from pit, and that quickening of the pace merely quickened the round to fall into Na'Vi's hands.
Yeah, what a beautiful play there from Na'Vi. Guardian was ready to receive there. He'd fallen any earlier. There could have actually been quite a comfortable wrap through to CT, and then HellRaisers essentially could have had their way with that A bomb site, or could have moved to B. The linchpin there, Guardian, stands strong and wins the round, essentially. Edward obviously chiming in there as well from that corner, but again, much better to do it with an ally and not on your own.
I like the idea from HellRaisers in a way. I like the quickening of the pace. I like those kind of quick hits, but look at this. Guardian's got such a good read, and Angel gets decapitated so quickly. And in the meantime, you've got the 3-play over to B, pushing down Banana. This is Na'Vi taking back control. Maybe a little bit of a wake-up call from that first gun round, like, all right, they're bringing something here, HellRaisers. Let's put our foot down before it gets away from us. So Flamey and Seized, still exuding control over by Banana. You've got the rotate back coming through. Quite a passive setup towards A to a degree. Edward's not playing on the balcony this time. He's in pit. Maybe understanding or maybe expecting the fact they could have taken over apps control because they're probably on a pistol buy or something less and they liked it before. But they're kind of going back out as well. Na'Vi aren't giving much up. They're playing back into this.
No, this positioning in Banana for Na'Vi just, exactly, it just drips confidence. They're feeling very, very good right now. Otherwise, they just sit back in the corner and they just delay. They're getting so much information constantly, and they're enabling Na'Vi to keep HellRaisers under the thumb for that same period. You can see this position in general, we saw it a couple of rounds ago. I believe it was from Guardian. And this is Na'Vi not really giving too much respect to HellRaisers, who now in turn have to respect the AWP, especially Seized is there. Flamey can chime in now for one as well. He gets one. Spray through, doesn't go for the second. Backing away under the cover of a flash.
Yeah, rotate comes out from Guardian. He's now going over towards B in case they try to make the most of that hit that they got done. But it's a 2v4, so you know you're probably going to be in a 2v2 either side that you go to, but an aggressive flash allows the play to come out, but Edward doesn't quite see the player. 23 seconds left, Molly goes in, and even all those flashes remaining, that smoke on Edward buys more and more time. 15 seconds now. HellRaisers need to go, and they need to go fast. They're going to try and make something happen towards mid, but they're almost out of time here at this point. I think it's almost save time. I doubt you'll be able to even get towards the site here.
Wrap to CT and save. Yeah, the HellRaisers starting to think about it now. They almost went towards Library and they realized that the Jeek apparently is up. They're going to sit deep in enemy territory and hold on to those AKs for the next round. It all goes awry for the HellRaisers. One, the shot down mid, of course, Angel falling first in the round, and then this indomitable presence that Na'Vi put up over in Banana stopped HellRaisers from advancing any further.
Yeah, this is going to be buying up around it. Okay, so investing into this, just the 2 rifles that remained on Zero and Bondic. You've got a CZ, Tech 9, P250, a couple of nades. Maybe this could be a bit of a nuke up Banana to deny that early control, maybe?
3 players for
Yeah,
Na'Vi.
there it is. So they are going to be nuking up Banana. They're going to try and make a quick hit with the pistols and then trade if they don't get it with the rifles. But Flamey's holding his ground. Simple's nade will follow up very nicely, clean the slate almost. And now you're looking at the last 3. Zero's got some good real estate building over by A, but he's going to have to get past Guardian somehow. And Guardian's got 3 angles to worry about. There's still pressure on Banana, but Simple is cleaning them up so well. And Bondic's now in an almost unwinnable position. Simple looks on point today. These shots are landing for him.
To be honest, he's fortunate to be alive because Bondic had the angle on Simple while he was taking down his teammate. But Bondic wasn't able to connect. We'd seen it from his point of view. It might have painted a little bit of a different picture, but regardless, Zero in mid. Sharpest attack as always, but it's going to take more than that. And he only gets himself 2 for the round. Guardian finds him and silences him to make it 6-1.
Yeah, this is a scary Simple. We haven't seen much of Na'Vi on this map, but the way he's playing so far, he's looking really good on it. I'm liking his positioning. I'm liking how he's taking the fights. He's so... it just seems like he's so possessive over Banana. He doesn't want anyone else to get there. He won't back down from it. He doesn't back away from it. Bit of a block there, actually, towards
to slow him down a bit,
Bit of an awkward moment there for Guardian. If he wanted to try and make something happen, he's going to maybe have to play a little bit more passive. But in this round, it should be okay anyway. They're down to pistols now, HellRaisers. They kind of have to respect it at some point, kind of suffer through. A couple of close rounds, of course, but 6-1 being the scoreline. It's looking pretty decisive so far.
A lot of the talk earlier on, that's going to be Zero going down. Quite close to the start of the round. A lot of the talk earlier on was about HellRaisers' CT side and how they had a decent way of navigating that, but they're hardly going to get there with enough rounds margin to keep losing them here. Simple living dangerously, and Angel's going to put him to bed. Managed to find him on the top of the awning, and HellRaisers are on the move now. Have the option for the wrap. Edward needs to challenge this. Some pre-fire to the corner, but Sticko didn't actually see him. This is going to force HellRaisers now to change the pace.
Guardian this time. Down in pit. Nice little boost over by the T side. Just kind of forcing the angle adjustment. I actually really like that. Why not? Sees does get played in though, so that's fine. And they're keeping control of this Na'Vi. It looked a little bit kind of shaky for a second or two, but they're still pretty much in control. 2 players now going through CT Arch. They don't have any armor. They have recovered a rifle. And Flamey's got a good idea of what's going on here. So should be able to get the drop on them. There's Sticko gone. And Angel next to full. Very cleanly done in the end. Kept it from spiraling out of control once those 2 kills came through. 7-1 now being a scoreline. Money's starting to look very nice for Na'Vi. On the other side, they finally have that full buy. It felt like a lifetime in the making. But they have all that utility. I just don't know if they're going to be able to get to use it because, let's be honest here, Na'Vi aren't giving up Banana.
No, that's right. So you don't have an opportunity to set up any of these elaborate plays onto B or something similar. Last round, Flamey, good play from him. Played it slow, played it restrained. He knew he was the last line of defense between the wrap and that B site. But now, of course, into round number 9. Let's see if HellRaisers can actually get any ground here. Let's see if they can make some progress. Their own Molotov will stop them from getting around this corner.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Failing your molly there especially slows you down, puts you in a very...
Where's that supposed to go? Over the car?
To the top, just to the top of the cast on the other side, so they can't peek out with an AWP possibly the Guardian could have had there. So
big mistake there for a round like this.
Yeah, exactly. They have been very restrained on using their mollies though. If you look at what's left, they still have 4, so they could always fall back to B. They do have Banana control. They fought for that quite hard, and I wonder if they slow the pace a little. They've used another molly to force possibly Flamey or Simple back off the angle, and now the one's come back in return. So Bondic and Zero, if they can stay alive or just not die to Guardian, that'd be brilliant right now. If they can maybe make something happen out of this, we could see some of those more scripted hits they've been working on, but there's still a problem with the fact you have to get past players like Seized, who's got an angle on this, but actually Angel finds it first.
I think he might have overestimated that particular angle. Angel was able to see him, and Seized had no idea he was there. Flamey with the re-smoke. This is going to give time for Simple to make the rotation. This will split the 2 sites 2 and 2, with Guardian even angling towards B.
Yeah, they're going to hear this as well. They definitely heard Simple going down Speedway, so a bit of a read here, a bit of an overread maybe from Na'Vi, putting 3 players here and just leaving Edward towards pit, but maybe they're confident. Or it could be just for that. They could have just boosted up Simple and backed away, but you can see the smokes coming in. There's merely only Angel here. It's all geared up towards this hit towards A. Angel succeeded. That's big. That's going to sell it a little bit more, but now they've read the plan. Now they know what's coming, and it's all on Edward.
And he meets the flames with his face. He blocks that Molotov out, but he still needs to change position. Gets the first kill and bought himself some time. Sticker's going to fall. Edward might be holding this on his own. Zero must challenge, and he wins out. Edward only had a pistol in hand, but this is given time.
No, the bomb.
Simple has gotten here, and the bomb's
Look
on
at
the
the bomb.
awning. Not
How did it get
ideal.
up there? How? Did it fly
No,
off
it must
a
have flown
player?
off the corpse of the player on the logo. That's a bit weird.
CSGO physics. Love it, Valve. Nice.
Yeah, that's the only way it could have happened. It's literally flown from his corpse.
Could we, production, can we get a replay on that if we're possible? I don't know if we were speccing at the time towards it, but anyway, if it's possible, that's really quite interesting to look in towards. But
Bizarre.
beyond that, though, looking at how Edward played it, he bought so much time for the rotate to come back in. The problem on Inferno is that a lot of teams find it incredibly, well, near on impossible to play retakes on a lot of these sites. That's why I was so surprised when we saw a couple of the teams actually being able to pull them back in. I think FaZe was one of them who's really, really successful at it.
Risky to do.
It's just so hard with the timing. The rotates are so very long. So they just didn't give it up, though. Edward stayed alive so long in that situation. But right now, HellRaisers are hitting a bit of a brick wall. And let's see if he's going to find the angle. Angel was kind of expecting it, but he still doesn't manage to find Seized.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't see Seized leg actually through that gap in the smoke. Now, notice that 2 players for Na'Vi committed to this part of Banana. They haven't just left one there. That's a full commitment by Na'Vi, and it pays off for now. HellRaisers still chasing their tails for the next couple of moments, deciding on their route of approach. Creative little boosts and peaks above smoke like that in Banana, especially as CTs, are really going to give you the edge in rounds like this, especially using the enemy team's utility against them. Banana's under a minute left in the round. The bomb is still way back in towards spawn, and HellRaisers have not committed to an option yet. Might be closer now, though.
I actually really like that. That kind of dry hit in towards B, not showing until you basically take the fight. Now, Flamey, next one in question, actually can't do the job himself. Now, there's a gap in that smoke, which could be an issue, but for now, HellRaisers trying to get the bomb there fast enough. They actually don't have it on them. That's still on Bondic, so Simple and Guardian can still be a huge problem in this. 30 seconds now remain. This might not be the safest of plants. You can wallbang that out now. Guardian's just around the corner, checking towards new box first, catches a glimpse, but doesn't land the shot.
Molotov doesn't quite go as far as it was intended to. I think should be going straight in towards Guardian, but it still prevents him from making further progress on towards the site, and HellRaisers won't be complaining with that. A boost here for Simple. Information can he gain? He's up in the crow's nest, and Deadbox has been forced out of the corner. Simple, bit of a messy spray, but he completes it. Bondic replying very fast, though. And now it's Zero and Bondic. Back-to-back. Hits on both Na'Vi plays. This has to be a complete kill for Zero. He needs to bide his time and go in for it, but it's going to be a quick defuse attempt for Edward. Can he get into the smoke? He's spraying, and he's found absolutely nothing. Na'Vi steal the round out from under the nose of HellRaisers, and that was one the HellRaisers direly needed.
Oh, that's just one of those rounds you sat there.
He second-guessed himself.
Yeah.
I think it was Zero. I think initially he was aiming at the correct direction, but there was a little bit of the dispersion on the shots. He was like, nah, he's not in there.
Oh, that is very, very sad for HellRaisers at this point. But for Na'Vi, brilliant. 9-1, even furthering the disparity between the two. Angel, you're going to fall for it again? No, bait
okay.
out the
I
show.
like
You're
that.
playing with danger, Angel. My word. That's, I guess if you're going to mess around with someone's reactions and so on and all, I probably wouldn't pick Guardian, but
Still debated him, Lauren.
Yep. And Angel slowly working up.
This
the
is a
nine.
very light B presence for Na'Vi.
It is maybe a read coming out from Na'Vi. I'm not sure what it would be. They've stacked towards quad side or Diggity, but yeah, it's a very strange read. I haven't seen much to indicate why they've done this yet, but it could work out for them.
Well, HellRaisers aren't pressuring B any further, so this might be a very clever little play for Na'Vi if they can make use of Seized. Molotov goes down. Now, Angel has been very efficient in his opening frags, actually, in a lot of these rounds. He's usually not where the problem has been for HellRaisers. Usually finds those duels quite comfortably.
Yeah, Seized could be integral to this. If they try and wrap CT Arch, there's a deep smoke towards cutting off Library, which is just to the left of Seized right now. But he's not really been pressured. They haven't actually seen many of HellRaisers yet, Na'Vi, but they still have the 4 players here. The bomb's now joined them. And I'm waiting to see where this hit goes. 2 more smokes left, 2 more mollies. Those mollies could be for the pit, but they still need to get past these players. And Seized just going to spray in. Why not hold down mouse 1? You get in the shots to connect, and now Guardian supporting the angle as well. Simple and Edward focused towards the other side of things. 25 seconds, and HellRaisers have no real ground to make this play on.
No, I think Sticker's going to try and look for something over at B. But it was a cursory glance, if anything. He's going to have to come back for the rest of his team now. HellRaisers are committed. There's 12 seconds left in the round, and they can't break through Na'Vi. Edward in pit, comfortably Just the shots are coming through here. Simple went down and Guardian's able to double cover that angle along with Edward here. It was always going to be a trade in response. Edward finds Sticko, although Guardian has fallen in that round and the AWP was actually left lying.
Yeah, HellRaisers is starting to run out of time here in these rounds. They've been running the clock down so low. They're not necessarily hesitant, but Na'Vi aren't giving them many opportunities. They seem to have found quite a nice balance here. You've got the aggression on B sometimes, Simple occasionally really taking those extended fights. You've seen the passive play on A. Even when they had 4 players there, they still were playing quite passive. You had C sitting quite far back in CT Arch. You had, I think, Edward and Guardian kind of one by maybe, I guess it's Graveyard, one in Pit. And they still had a couple more that, it's quite hard for them to play around that. So for me, I'm actually enjoying the tempo that Na'Vi are bringing. They seem to have that nice balance of, okay, well, we'll go aggressive now and then we'll do this. The only thing I haven't seen from them yet is the mid-aggression. And I don't think they've needed it, really. There's been no need to play into HellRaisers' hands.
A couple peaks from Guardian early round in mid. We saw Simple play into mid against an anti-eco, so you don't really read into that one too heavily. Exactly. But what I find interesting about Na'Vi, Lauren, is that they know what parts of the map they value and want to fight for in that particular round and what parts they don't. You see, they don't spend much time in apartments at all. Edward sits way back over on the balcony or the pit, and Simple rarely actually peeks in towards Boiler. He gives that over to HellRaisers, knowing they eventually have to push out of that at some stage. But on the other side, you see Na'Vi have such aggressive control over Banana.
Is this in-game music? Rush, did you forget to turn this off, or is this for the atmosphere?
I think it's intentional. I think we're fading it in.
This is atmosphere? This just makes me annoyed because I think I've left the music on in my game. Like, after the recent update, every time you play the game... No, like, there's always someone in my team will have it on anyway, so you can hear when the bomb's, like, able to be defused or not, or, like, close to. It's not exact, but it's close. The music starts playing if it can't be diffused at that time. So, no, I've turned it off, but it kept turning on after the update. I played, like, 3 games because I got forced to play Canals. I hate it.
Canals? You were forced to play Canals?
Blame Palmer Violet.
Oh,
it was the only option. She was like, "Oh, do you play some Matchday?" I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds great." I did. You know when your friends don't like tell you the whole story and you kind of look at the game and you're like, "Why is there only one map in the map pool? Why is this queue taking 10 minutes?" And then it all becomes apparent when you're playing Canals.
Lauren,
but anyway,
no sympathy. You had ample time to respond to that.
I'm a simple person, all right.
10 minutes. Well, let's see. 10-1 for Na'Vi so far. They've been very hard to break thus far. HellRaisers have had probably a much-needed tactical pause to decide how they're going to go forward. But again, 3-man stack over towards B for Na'Vi to start things off.
Why not? Look at this. Here comes the barrage down Banana, but actually relatively okay. Zero took a touch of damage, Estico as well, and now the second volley comes through, but Guardian's not going to land the shot, and Angel goes back in for seconds. And how did that not hit?
Thirds? 11s?
Yeah, that was close, but still. Na'Vi not giving up Banana control either. Even against pistols, they're going down there and just hammering them home. So, yeah, this is getting pretty rough for HellRaisers, if I'm honest.
Well, again, you want to try and meet pistols outside of their optimal range. So controlling Banana in that way is probably a good idea for Na'Vi. Don't let them get up close. Don't let them get under your skin. Don't let them get in your head. And the only thing in HellRaisers' heads right now, well, for 3 of them is bullets. For 2 is the prospect of breaking through onto the B side and winning this round out. But now it's going to be a little bit harder because Bondic is taken down. Doesn't even see his assailant. The smoke will veil seized shots.
Yeah, that's fun. Just straight through the smoke. Always what you need.
It's not allowed.
You're 10-1 down. You're not having a good time. Yet the fun police have arrived.
I know, I just get generally irate when it happens because obviously there's players that walk into the smoke, but the whole obviously point of smoke is being able to cover yourself. The players are too smart nowadays, Lauren. That's just the way it is. Dead Fox makes a good entry though onto the B side. Seize was already low. Flamey was not though. The head of Flamey goes rolling, and now the reinforcements are coming, but Dead Fox is ready for the cavalry. Can they put Humpty Dumpty back together again? It's 1 versus 2. And the bomb with 20 seconds left is not yet planted, but Na'Vi are playing this one very slow, very steady. There should be a peak, and it is from Simple at top of Banana to finish that one off. Too close for comfort.
There were some crisp, clean shots coming out there.
Usually I expect that from Zero more than anyone on this team when he's having those good games, but that was
spicy.
Real nice from Dead Fox.
Can we just hit tap real quick when we get back in the game after the replay? Because I think he's been pretty quiet so far. He's a name that, it hasn't been said that much, excluding this round, so I'm kind of curious. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, considering what he got, was it 3 kills that round or just 2?
3.
3. He was not having exactly a brilliant game. So the individuals just aren't seemingly there at the moment for HellRaisers.
We always had these questions about Dead Fox when he joined the team, though, as well. We all wondered if he'd grow into the AWP that HellRaisers needed. And, well, guess what? There's no point using it on this map for HellRaisers the way they want to play. It's all contact CS. It's all in your face.
Flamey again, well up to the challenge here. Looking for a little bit of action towards Banana, but this time opting to back away slightly. C's going to fall towards site as well. And HellRaisers playing through what looks like somewhat of a default here.
Might take a bit more than same old for
Is this a
HellRaisers.
spicy flash for Flamey?
I think this one should bounce in between those two walls.
Here we go, let's see.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Didn't work.
Did it really even affect Angel there?
No.
No. Maybe he didn't drop down low enough. Or he was behind the wall. That's Guardian's second missed shot in apartments in the last 2 rounds. In a little bit of trouble now. Maybe Zero's just starting to work out exactly how Guardian ticks. Simple's found Angel. It's going to get a bit messy now. Stinko really wants to challenge out this B. He's got the talent for it. The young player. Probably not the health points to do it much longer.
Yeah, but Dead Fox has opened up a huge opportunity towards A. He's going to force Simple to come back around because he's made such an impact. Now it's all on C's, pretty much. This is good work so far, but I think Simple's maybe getting an idea of what's going on here, and C's is holding a good angle. Edwards. Oh!
Jeez.
Edward! What an animal! All right, C's now goes for the spray down. He's going to find one back away. That can play in the rotate now. Simple and Edward are going to be making their way over nice and quick. Seized, still locking it down by himself. 9 seconds, goes to deny the plant, and he does it. They get the bomb down, but he's instantly there. But can we just talk about Edward for a second? That shot.
It's really...
Hello, Edward.
Honestly, like, in this particular round, it maybe didn't have the hugest of consequences. Sure,
But it was spicy.
It was spicy, and it was. It was spicy. It's like a really hot burrito that you don't eat. It doesn't have any consequences for you, but you can appreciate the spice of it. You can look at the tears in the eyes of the person that just ate it and go, that's a spicy burrito.
Here we go.
Sometimes I have to wonder about those particular shots. Is it like a warning shot? He's
Dan
just
M
testing?
is about to have a field day on that sort of thing. Just like, all right, boys.
Yeah, new Dan M video coming out. Sub, like, follow, whatever
Yep,
you do on
That's it. That's
YouTube.
it. But all we can say right now, this is a 12-1 game. I hate to say it, but the more annoying thing here for me is that Moses' fantasy team is going to be off the damn charts, especially when this man's going wild. He's going to find one trade down in the end. Zero's not going to have any of that, but you can see Na'Vi is starting to feel way more confident. They're going for things that maybe they shouldn't in theory. Just that brazen peak out of apps, but they're winning every single aspect of this map so far.
Just a distinct lack of care from Na'Vi at the moment. They definitely feel like they've got the measure of HellRaisers, and they're going to take these jewels and they'll win them out. HellRaisers losing jewels means they lack the tools, the players, to execute these fancy plays we talked about pre-game. Now that's just going to get quenched straight away by the smoke, so Flamey is still safe. Oh my lord, no one's going to be seeing him. Just plays it in the corner until the end of the round. He springs forth. It's 2 kills for Flamey. Under a lot of scrutiny there by the HellRaisers, but burst forth. A comfortable 2-piece. Get on my fantasy. He's on my fantasy team, actually. Let's go. That's
Who have
fine.
you got, Flamey?
Flamey. Flamey. Not sure why I picked Flamey, actually. I think he was cheap, but now, this is good. I've already beaten Alex. Mate, I've left Henry Jizzle in my dust. He's just a thing of the past now. I'm moving on up. Alex is lost. Now I'm coming for Cartman.
Oh, okay.
You're getting wrecked, boys.
All right, 13-1, Guardian have a little peek. This is just the rush B with 13-1 down. Please do something. Look at the damage. Oh, it's an absolute massacre. No, HellRaisers. I guess, if anything, you made it quick. And after that first half, I don't think you needed to make it any faster. You're 14-1 down. This has been devastating for HellRaisers.
It's quick, it's easy, and it's simple. Na'Vi looking very, very good at the half. It's 14-1. Let's see if HellRaisers can break back in on Inferno or if it's all done and dusted. We'll find out after the break. Well, it's freeze frame, record scratch. You're probably wondering how HellRaisers got here. It has been a tough half for them indeed. Na'Vi have stacked up 14 rounds against them on the CT side, but Lauren, that hardly tells the whole story of what we've seen from Na'Vi so far.
No, I've got to say it this way. HellRaisers haven't played necessarily a bad game as such. I've got to say for Na'Vi, they've been playing well. Sometimes you can look at games and say, all right, these sort of scorelines are purely defined by one team being just a little off point in certain aspects.
Sure.
Now, some individuals haven't turned up for HellRaisers, but you cannot say that for a single player from Na'Vi. Every single one has been pulling their weight and then some. That shot right there from Edward was gorgeous. You've had Simple running an absolute rampage throughout the entirety of the game. Guardian, once he got that AWP, came into form. You know, every single player has been providing a lot to this matchup. So you can see it right there. The KDs are off the charts. Even ADR is pretty high up considering it's across the board. Where you look at the disparity on HellRaisers. Angel's doing okay. You had a couple moments here and there from Zero, but the rest...
Bondix even in this game? Crikey,
yeah,
he's
exactly.
had a rough one.
No.
We have not seen much of him at all in that first half.
No, it's been a bit tough for them to actually bring themselves into this. So hopefully they can recover slightly. I want to see a bit more from them, but the problem is the scoreline's so drastic. It starts with a pistol. We'll see how far they can go.
Yeah. Suffice to say that the HellRaisers are going to need to win that pistol and the next round and the next and probably the next 5 to 7 to even get themselves back into position where they can challenge Na'Vi. Na'Vi are a team that we know on this map actually have some tech when it comes to that T-side play. So even if they get pushed to that point, even if these next couple rounds do somehow go the way of HellRaisers, it's going to be a long haul, Lauren, to get them in any position where they can feel remotely comfortable about trying to get back into this game. They are the stakes, ladies and gentlemen, pure and simple. We're not going to dumb it down for you. It's been a whitewash so far, and Na'Vi have been all over it now. We're going to see them go onto the T side. It's going to be HellRaisers on the CT side. A 4-man stack to A will kick us off.
All right, all eyes on HellRaisers here. This for me is just, what can they do about this? If Na'Vi brings something special, I actually want to see what Guardian and C's plan to do. Let's have a look. C's just feeds. That's what he was going to do.
Definitely not on my fantasy team.
Now, maybe a burst out from Boiler, smoke towards CT Arch. Guardian's on with the smoke. That's the only reason I'm contemplating the idea. But he's going for the challenge towards Banana. What is this? What is this round so far? Yeah, this is kind of weird. You've got the 4-play stack from HellRaisers towards A, and that's fine, because Angel's just been tested once, and he passed that test. So Sticko's kind of in a predicament, though. He can't really leave this now. He has to wait to be played in by his teammates. Zero's going to find one, and yeah, HellRaisers lock it down. They have so many players here. There was almost no challenge there for them.
Much better from HellRaisers. Unfortunately, there's a big difference between a pistol round and a gun round, but they play that one safe, they play it securely, and they get themselves at least in a position where they can continue to play some Counter-Strike on this map, Lauren. That's good. Inferno, not so far been their match. I mean, they can always look towards Mirage, but there's work to be done for them still. 4 UMPs brought up, no surprises. Na'Vi did the exact same on their second round. And the aforementioned Na'Vi coming in with Deagles and a Tech 9.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. That plan seemed weird from them. Na'Vi, it seemed like they didn't have one. I don't know what the idea there was, so we'll see. Maybe there was more to come and it just didn't come through.
Sticko gets wallbanged by that.
Yeah, you can basically wallbang most of this. It doesn't do much damage, but there's a lot of wallbangs. I know a couple of the players in FPL started to toy around with the shots down by the door in apartments. If you go to apps, you can shoot, you molly down towards the end of it, you can shoot the door on the left.
Similar to the Mirage shots. Ooh.
Yeah. Now, there you go. A little bit of control exuded on Banana there. Just going to get the deep smoke down, play through it. HellRaisers still have control. It does allow Bondix to keep tabs in a certain aspect towards CT Arch, but he's going to fall off it. Now they've given up a lot of ground here. They're kind of allowing Na'Vi a little bit more freedom than maybe they'd like. So Cease has gone walkabouts. He's in library now. He's having a good time. HellRaisers are very locked into this site, but they've got a good crossfire setup.
I think they mind turtling here too much. Na'Vi don't have the utility to really break this squad. They don't have any at all, in fact. So it's a matter of time now. Zero and Angel going to back up to the B site, just in case it's a late round push from Na'Vi, but no. It's pretty much set in stone at this stage, Lauren. And Na'Vi now are just deciding their optimal entry angle and trying to make the best out of not a great situation.
No, Na'Vi looking for opportunities, though. Look at the time. They've run that down to 23 seconds here. Even with this hit coming in, as much as C's can do, when you have a player in pit like that, it's almost impossible to dig them out. Sticko is in a really good spot. Unless Guardian could have timed it to try and push out and do this.
Cheeky.
He's going to get it done, but time, 10 seconds now. You've got 3 players, you're not getting any more. You have to sacrifice so much just to remove that one player. If you have 2 players towards pit, playing in towards A, or any, even playing a retake on it becomes near on impossible. So, at the moment, 3 to 14. It does feel inevitable, but Na'Vi needs to kind of just accept, All right, another round to them. That's fine. And then come back in swinging.
Bondic made a decent amount of money on the MP7 in that last round as well. Was up about 5K before the buy. Channeling all the kills into that SMG, and it's 14-3. It's time for HellRaisers to supply some action. There's a CZ for Simple here, but no armor to be seen on Na'Vi at all. It may end up just being a bum rush up apartments. Sticko's first nade does not connect. He just wants to hold a more passive angle to receive.
So far, Na'Vi just testing them, just trying to get anything done. That's embarrassing. Flamey gonna find Sticko. Sprayed. Oh god, is this real? Look at Dead Fox, look at Bondic. Is this? No, okay, thank you. Thank you, Angel. Thank you for not letting this round to be the round that you almost lose on.
Lawrence Marty, watch out.
When those rounds almost get lost, it's when the triggering happens. But Angel stays up, gets the job done. 3 kills, big kills, that is. Kind of keeping Bondic and Dead Fox in this. You want to keep the guns up as well. I'm hoping they go on a decent buy here. Like, why not? You're on 4-14. You kind of need to go all in at this point.
Yeah, that's the thing. A bit concerning that HellRaisers maybe aren't opting to upgrade their arsenal in a huge way. 2 UMPs, okay, we can accept that. They've got an AWP for Dead Fox. The first time all game he's had one of these in his hand. We need to see that put to very good use right about now. The Molotov close indicates a less aggressive approach towards Banana here. 3 Molotovs to Banana early. My lord.
They're going to smoke down and follow it. It's kind of what a lot of the teams do at the moment, who play this, deep control, the hell of a lot of mollies, deep smoke. So you know that they could have pushed up, basically keeping it safe. And then you completely deny it by the following smoke. So I actually like the idea of putting Bondic up here as well. He can buy time, he can spot information. I don't know if he's left a gap on the right side. No, he hasn't. So he can't actually spot if they go directly up towards CT Arch. But you've got Zero and Angel actually in a good spot for it as well. So HellRaisers have a nice setup here. I want to see how Na'Vi try and dismantle this. They're playing it quite late. One smoke towards Apps will deny Simple off the angle. Makes it hard to make this play again, leaving someone like Sticko kind of untested. Both step out mid. Edwards found one on towards Banana, forcing Zero to rotate. So Na'Vi thinning the numbers, thinning the herd down here. Angel's had to pull himself across, but Na'Vi, are you going to rotate off this?
45 seconds left of the round, so if they are going to do that, they need to be quick. Hallmark of Na'Vi sometimes is running out of time in these rounds. We need to see decisiveness from them at this stage. And
Zero.
Smoke? What? That goes behind Angel. I don't know if that was intended. Probably intended to fall into the arch, but either way, Flamey is remaining embedded over at the A side here for Na'Vi, just to give the impression that he and Simple are actually planning to try and plant the bomb here.
It's go time. As soon as they got that kill, HellRaisers should understand the plan. Zero has to step up. He's got to deliver something, whether it be buying time, a kill, something good. He can't just die, otherwise surely Na'Vi have this round. 10 seconds. All he's got to do is play the time, and he can't do it. Guardian takes a quick fight. Bondic has found Flamey, but the site is theirs. Bomb's about to go down, and no one can stop it. They do have retake potential. Nade, flash, kits, but it's so tough to play back into this one. Na'Vi are in a decent spot. Edward can swing around and watch the cross if he needs to. Guardian's already watching towards this, a bit of an adjusted angle, just elevating himself slightly, and you're seeing that HP starting to dwindle now for HellRaisers.
Bit of damage coming across the line here from the UMP, but HellRaisers don't really have enough money for a full buy in the next round. This is one that they have to win. They can't let Na'Vi back in the game, but that is what they've done. Angel versus Edward, the 1v1. He needs to defuse. And Edward is absolutely not going to allow that to happen on his watch. Match point for Na'Vi.
And that was quite hard fought for. They really thinned HellRaisers down. Switching up, hitting B like that. Maybe if you saw Zero getting something out of that situation rather than just being picked up, there could have been a recovery. May have been able to play off the retake with the better numbers. Slow down the plant, something. He had to find something there. And it's going to be frustrating for him knowing that, if only I'd been able to get that done. But it's so hard, of course. It is incredibly hard to make that count. And now, Na'Vi's buy, not perfect, but it's a lot worse for HellRaisers. Sticko's just down to the 5-7.
And this is the first round that lost in this half, of course, and already down to this.
I thought Dead Fox might have made a bit of a play then. It was looking towards Apps. I was hoping it was
It's almost like a danger zone for both these teams. Any further than that corner at the end of Apps, it's just not happening. Especially because teams don't really feel like there's a tried and true way to stop a balcony boost in towards Apps. A lot of teams don't watch it. I know NIP specifically have a big hole in what they cover, purposely actually, and they let it go. Risky.
Dead Fox holding a bit more of a passive angle. And just gets wrecked! Guardian is just an animal. He's better with the rifle than apparently Dead Fox is with the AWP on those sort of angles.
You surprised?
Not really, but Sticko, there we go. Gonna find Seized, nade out, good work, nice crossfire, nade to follow. Slows him down, hinders it, probably buys a bit of time for the rotate if they want to use it, but the problem is now, if you're Na'Vi, do you continue down this road or do you then turn tail and try and run towards B? Guardian?
No, you book it straight in. Do it big, Guardian. Just like I said on train. Sticko in the Lauren Pansy Scott spot right now, just chilling. Smoke over towards library sides. This might indicate a wrap, potential wrap for Na'Vi, but they need to expect him running into Angel in CT. Pick your poison, Wolfsbane or Nightshade. That's going to be it. No easy way about it. I don't know, I assume they're poison names. They're flowers, aren't they? Whatever, Lauren. You're a flower.
All right, volley to spit. Guardian peeking in. How has he seen this angle? How? What? Does it show up on the radar? Yeah, it must have showed up on the radar. I don't know, that was really strange. 10 seconds now. Flamey left in a 1v2. He's going to find one probably, and now 5 seconds. Does he have time for the plant? I don't think he does. No, he doesn't. Runs out of time. Last couple of moments. Zero.
That sucks. This round is nothing but a stay of execution for HellRaisers. They save no guns. They have no money. They win their round, but they're CTs. It's really hard to develop your economy in general as CT, let alone when you're not allowed to carry any guns into subsequent rounds. And it's going to be the old famous UMPs with Bondic on the M4.
Na'Vi. Taking over Apps control. Dead Fox again hits that little marker. Backs away, doesn't want to go past the window, doesn't want to show. It's kind of fair enough.
He's bitching it, and you don't want to. There could be more than one player on their balcony as well.
They love to spot this sort of thing. You've probably heard them jumping up. You don't want to be doing that. This could be a quick burst out of Boiler, try and get quad control, catch them before they can fall back towards pit. Dead Fox already getting a bit of a glimpse, and now it's down to Sticko and Dead Fox who'll be trying to hold this as 3 players in Apps. So Sticko's the big man to watch here once this hit comes in. Dead Fox is going to back away, and here it comes. Flash comes out, it's a little bit late, but Sticko just gets overwhelmed instantly. Couldn't quite land the shot clean enough, and now Na'Vi have the site.
That may well be it, Lauren. There's 2 players left in HellRaisers. They've both got UMPs to work with, but now they're on the clock. Angel's got himself into a partner to Zero into mid, but Flamey meets Angel. And now Zero, the last man standing, has got sharp aim, like I've said. But he's going to need more than that to take this round out. He needs to move fast. He has no kit. It's going to be a 10-second defuse time for this man. If he has any plans or any idea of keeping his team in this map. Not going to happen. Edward will catch him there at quad, and that's going to be it. Done and dusted. A comfortable victory there for Na'Vi, Lauren.
Yeah, it really was in the end. You've got to give credit where it's due. Every single player had moments that were quite impressive overall. They looked like they had a good plan. We didn't really get to see much of the depth of Na'Vi, to be fair. They just looked good. I'd like to see a little bit more. It was
the kiddie pool of CS for Na'Vi.
Yeah, it wasn't all that in a bag of chips just yet. But the reason we're back is because that was such a quick game. We've got a couple more seconds, I can imagine, to talk. And what we didn't get to hear from Moses at the start of the day was what he did on the weekend.
Yes, he had a bit of a time. We actually have evidence here. So, okay, first of all, he's left the location on the tweet there, Nico. Hasn't helped his bro out at all. He's in Belgrade.
Yeah,
having a good time.
Serbia.
I assume a high school disco.
There he is.
He's the high school disco DJ. He's got his teacher shirt on.
Jason doesn't look sober in this picture, is all I can say. That looks like that happy glow.
Hello guys.
Any comments there, Jason? Anything in your defense?
No, not really.
Here's your defense. Yeah. You're an adult and you went and had fun.
Yeah, I did have a really good time. You know what it was? Belgrade was phenomenal. Yanko showed me quite a time over there. That was
time of your life?
Yeah, one of the times. I think it was the music that brought it all together, the Serbian music.
Did Nico give you any Counter-Strike tips?
I mean, we played a game and he just told me I didn't really need any. You guys know we played a couple ESL games earlier today. Don't need any help. Did ask him about the Serbian guy the Serbian player who's going to
Renegades.
Yeah. Didn't know anything about him. Oddly enough, yeah.
What about Yanko?
What's bringing it up then?
Yeah, Yanko knows about him. Yanko says he's got some skills.
Yeah, well, Stone the Crows, mate. That was a bloody rip-roar of a game.
I would say so.
Anyway.
This HellRaisers team, like the amount of times they ran that clock down, they just got stumped. Nothing worked.
Yeah,
they weren't getting ticks.
To be fair to them, they did have some rounds. They did the right thing. They get the bomb down, get into clutches. They just couldn't find the closing kill to finish off the round. You think back to a few of them. One that comes to mind is when the full defuse comes in from Edward. You think the round's over. He's got no chance in it. Gets the full 5-second defuse in. A few of those rounds came in. 14-1 in the first half. It's always been brutal. It felt like they were just getting locked down. That was a Na'Vi kind of textbook performance from them. Everyone turning up. Everyone hitting their shots. Simple looking very good. Very aggressive towards middle and towards second middle as well. well. Flamey not missing a beat anywhere on the map.
One of the main critiques with Na'Vi is that not all the stars show up when they need to. In this game, Simple and Flamey had a bit of a field day. Everyone, you know, I think had a positive ratio, maybe besides Guardian, but it was just another day at the office for them.
Well, Henry hit on it. I'm glad he brought the name up, Edward, because those of you who are new to Counter-Strike and CSGO didn't really watch much of 1.6. The position that Edward is playing in Pit, he has been a rock there for years on end, and I think in this match especially, in this match especially, when we talk about Simple, we talk about Flamey having great games, Edward almost feels like the reason they won that, because of the times when HellRaisers had success, Edward pulls out some miracles in that pit.
Well, the thing is, the pit's the most important area on the map, I would say, arguably. It's going to be you controlling apartments, short and long at the same time. You have position, you have to work with your teammates, very good communications. When one person's watching apartments, you need to be watching short. If your player dies towards long, you have to be watching that as well. He's very good at kind of dividing his attention and working out where he needs to be finding frags. And it seems almost impossible to kill him at times as well. A lot of teams try to focus on him and use everything they can on him, but he's changed his position. He's in the corner this time. You've wasted all your nades, and he's just waiting for you and mopping it up every single time. He's very, very solid there. Not the flashiest player, but very intelligent. And those sort of positions always good for 1 or 2 frags.
Those executes that I tried to highlight before the match, we never saw them come out.
They didn't have a chance. As we said before, they didn't. That shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be full banana control and all your utility available to do that, right?
You could see how well Na'Vi was stalling them though, like because they were so late on taking the mid wall or taking the top of banana, then Na'Vi used their grenades late and it just stalled them up, and that's why we saw so many timeouts and so much indecision, because once the clock starts running down, you either just run in and get mowed by the CT crossfires that are set up, or you have to try and hope for like a miracle or save the weapons. And a few times there they saved the weapons. That really hurts the T-side economy, right? Because if you save and you only have like $900 left in the bank, you lose the next round anyway, you're further behind your team in terms of the losing bonus, so that kind of slows things down.
There were some very tragic rounds there as well. You remember the bomb getting caught on quad?
Going up on the roof, like jumping up
down to like 13-1. Is this happening now as well?
That was an Edward kill.
That was,
that happened to Renegades once upon a time. Got stuck in the barbecue on the old...
Hey, I remember that. So back when you could fall between, the only time I've ever seen a bomb actually fall down that crevice.
We were a pretty lucky team in our time.
Oh, well, this got cheerful.
You can't tell. Yeah.
Definitely cheerful.
Yeah.
That being said, map 1 is over. Na'Vi take a big one. We'll have to see, can it be this larger score line, a bigger win for Na'Vi in the second map? It's going to be Mirage, so stay tuned and we'll see you right back.